Welcome back to Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. I am so excited to have you in the podcast studio with me on today, and I'm excited about our guests who are going to be with us to kick off the month of July. Yes, we are in the seventh month of the year, the month of July, and we have some more exciting, inspirational, informational podcast conversations that are going to be coming your way this month, in the month of July. I'm excited about my guests today because they're two very beautiful, dynamic, fabulous women over 50, and we're going to be talking about bodybuilding for women 50 plus. Yes. And I can't wait for you to see these dynamic women, hear their story, and see some of the pictures that we're going to show you today from their bodybuilding journey. So listen, tag somebody, call somebody, share this podcast conversation, and let somebody know that the Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast is blessing your life. And we want you to just stay tuned, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, I told y'all we were going to have a dynamic group of women with us today, a dynamic duo of women who are going to be with us on today, and we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful dialogue and conversation. I love both of these women so much, and I'm so excited that they both agreed to kick off the month of July with us on the Harmonize Your Life podcast. Let me introduce them to you, these fabulous women. First, I'm going to introduce Dr. Talaya Clark. Talaya Clark, MD. I want to introduce her to us on today because she has such a dynamic story. Dr. Talaya Clark graduated from Carnegie Mellon University with a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering, minoring in biomedical engineering in 1991. Her passion and desire to help others was not satisfied until she went to medical school. She graduated from Medical College of Pennsylvania, Muhammad University, now Drexel University School of Medicine in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 2002. She finished her family medicine residency program at Carolinas Medical Center near now Atrium Health in 2005. She has been working at Atrium Health Biddle Point Family Practice for 21 years now, caring for the underserved population in Charlotte. Her special areas of interest are mental health and the lifestyle medicine. In 2019, she received the Atrium Health Tree of Life coin. This coin honors teammates who best embody their mission to improve health, elevate hope, and advance healing for all. Dr. Clark received the Top Doctor Award for North Carolina in 2020, and she was featured in Waiting Room magazine by findadoc.com. She is an associate professor at Wake Forest School of Medicine. For 8 years, she was chairperson of the Health and Wellness Ministry at her church, New Covenant AME in Charlotte, and she's been a member of Mecklenburg Community Church since 2015 and working with the EMS ministry. She strives for good health in every area of her life, eating well, balanced meals, exercising with a personal trainer now for over 16 years, and she enjoys classes at Burn Boot Camp. She started running a program in 2016 in September and ran her first 5K in 2016. She participated in her first bodybuilding competition in 2022, and in April 2024, she came in first place for the professional figure competition with SNBF SNBF, Supernatural Bodybuilding and Fitness. Her free time is spent with her husband, Keith, of 28 years, and her son, Matthew, who is 16 years old. She tries to educate people on common medical conditions wherever she goes and how to improve their current health from where they are within their current financial means. I also want to say this about Dr. Clark. She is a regular member of the faculty for the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Retreat now for about 3-4 years now. You've been this
4 years.
She's been teaching at the retreat, and she's a staple at the retreat. Always kind of helps us with that whole medical piece and make sure we all are eating healthy and giving us all the things that we need to do, right? All the things, right?
All things.
All the things. And so I'm so grateful. This is not her first time on the Harmonize Your Life podcast as well. She's been on here now at least 2 times. I think this may be her 3rd time appearing on the podcast. But today we're going to be talking a little differently. She's been on here talking about heart health. We've talked about diabetes and lifestyle diseases. But today she's going to be sharing her bodybuilding journey with us. I'm also super excited that my spiritual daughter and coachee and the 2024 Woman of Excellence for My Sister's Keeper Foundation for Women, Tanya Henderson-Burke, is an experienced IT professional, the owner of Caterpillar Consulting LLC, a boutique consulting firm specializing in training, instructional design, quality assurance testing, and staff augmentation. As a mentor and life coach, Tanya is passionate about education and the upliftment of young people. She, along with her husband, Charles, founded the Charles and Tanya Burke Foundation to meet the needs of underserved high school students. Recently, Tanya embarked on a bodybuilding journey and won 2 first-place titles in Bikini 45 plus and Bikini Open in her debut show. This was one of the hardest commitments, she says. Tanya says this was one of the hardest commitments that I've ever made, but it was so worth it. Her hobbies include traveling, reading, and of course, physical fitness. With plans to relaunch her Butterfly Beauty body touring boutique, Tanya plans to help women of all ages reach their body goals through a 3D plan of diet, exercise, and body contouring. Butterfly Beauty seeks to elevate women to the best version of themselves. Tanya and her husband reside in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and her favorite motto is be the change that you want to see. Ladies, thank y'all so much for coming on to the Harmonize Your Life podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Be here.
I'm so excited. Y'all know I'm super excited about y'all coming on and helping me kick off. So y'all know y'all both have been like my role models in this area of bodybuilding. I just told my trainer this morning. So in last year, I told him, I said, I think I want to start preparing for bodybuilding. So this year, he put me through some more rigorous exercise, and I can already begin to see my form changing.
Good.
Yeah. But I ain't where y'all are. So I'm just reconditioning my mind in that way. But I said to Gabe, I said, I really do want to go to the next level. So I've increased my workouts from 3 to 5 days a week with him. And of course, I still do my running, my half marathons, and all the other things that I do, hiking and all that. But I have just watched both of you in your journey for bodybuilding. Talaya now for about 3 years now?
2.5, yes. 2.5 years.
And then Tanya this year. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted you all to come on. Last month, we talked about men's health in the Harmonize Your Life podcast. And one of our guests was Ricky Howell, who's a bodybuilder for men. And we talked about bodybuilding for men. So I was like, okay, well, now we got to come back and talk about bodybuilding for women. And I was like, when I got 2 women right here that I know personally that have gone through the journey, and I've watched your bodies transform. And what I love about it is that you all still look very feminine, right? And
Yes.
so that is so encouraging to me, because I think one of the things that I was always afraid of, now I want y'all to jump in here. One of the things I was always afraid of in going there was I didn't want to look hard. I didn't want to look like a man. I want to still look like a woman,
Right.
And so, but you all have encouraged me to know that, it's possible to do that, go through that transformation or journey and still be feminine, right?
Yes.
Still look like a lady, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. So talk to us, both of you. Share a little bit. Talaya, you first, then Tanya. Share a
Okay.
little bit about your journey and why was this important for you to do? You all were already doing fitness, so why the body? Why did you go there?
So for myself, I was working out with a trainer for like 13 years, and then the pandemic shifted, and we sort of kind of went our separate ways. And I was looking for something to keep myself motivated in the fitness. Wasn't sure what I would do. I met somebody who saw me one day. He said, "Do you look like that all the time?" And I was like, "Yes." He said, "You should try to do bodybuilding." I was like, "No, I'm too old for that. I was just turning 50." He said, "No, he didn't start bodybuilding until he was in his 50s." And so it gave me encouragement. During the pandemic, we were on Zoom calls because he's a personal trainer, and I was trying to encourage other people to stay focused. And so was he. He kept saying, "You're going to do bodybuilding one day." And I said, "No." But after the pandemic, I was like, when am I going to live my life? When am I going to do something for me? I'm a doctor, I care for everybody else, but when I'm going to have something that's just about Talaya. And then that's when I decided to make the phone call to say, let me see what the bodybuilding is all about. And I had the same misconception as you. I didn't want to look hard. I didn't want to get really thick and big, but I still wanted to stay feminine. And then I found out that that's not all there is to bodybuilding. You can start off small and you don't have to get hard. And I do natural bodybuilding. So a lot of sometimes what we see is promoted by people who may be using banned substances or steroids. And that's what hardens the features a little bit. But because of the being a doctor, I'm all promoting about being natural. Just do as far as you can do, start somewhere and go. And so that's how I got started on my journey. And I was very satisfied with the start. And I'm glad I chose to step out on faith and do something for me.
Wow, wow, wow. Good, 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 good. I love that. You said a couple of things, Talaya, that really resonated with me. You said it was about going to the next level for you, right? It was about
Yes.
doing something because you were already doing the fitness, right?
Right. I had a personal trainer. Initially, we started off really small. I started off like a half an hour per week, half an hour. Then I increased it to 2 hours per week. And we did that for like 13 years. And everybody said, "Oh, your body looks so good. Your arms, you look so good, your legs." And I was like, okay, but is that it? Or could there be more? I sort of kind of thought about bodybuilding, but I didn't want to look hard. One of the other trainers in the gym said, "You could do bodybuilding. I could see it, but you're going to have to get your percentage body percent down to like 11%." That seemed like unreasonable. I thought I was going to look like a toothpick. I said 11%. My scale was not saying nowhere near 11% at that point. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to look skinny mini. I don't want my ribs showing." But I did. Like for Showtime, for the last show, I got down to 11%. And
Wow.
I did not look skin tag. So I was like, adding on the muscle slowly worked, and it was completely possible. And he was right. 11% is what sometimes you have to get down to, but it was slow and steady. So it made a big difference.
Oh, Lord, I got a long way to go. Okay. All right, Tanya.
Yes. So, gosh, listening to Dr. Clark, her story sounds so intelligent and well thought out. I had a temporary moment of insanity. And I tell everyone, and with so many lessons learned during this whole journey, but the biggest one is do not make a long-term decision based on a temporary moment of insanity, which is what I did. So, and it's like, that's a bodybuilding, that's with a man, that's anything. Don't do it. Take it through. So I have been working out with my trainer as a lifestyle client. She had her team, her bodybuilding team, but I was a lifestyle client of hers. So I would go, 3 days a week for an hour. And I thought she was crazy as a lifestyle client. I'd be in on the floor and lifting weights and doing push-ups with weights and coming up. I'm thinking I could just take one and throw it at her right now. Right. And so, but that's when you know it's a good workout. And so she, along with her business partner, put on their own bodybuilding shows. They through an association that they're affiliated with, and she always needed volunteers. I volunteered to help with the women backstage. Now, these are women that I know from the gym. Some of them had gone from being lifestyle clients with me to joining the bodybuilding team. And I was so motivated and encouraged by them. And I thought, I'm going to do it. Right. Because I was hyped and, backstage. And so I volunteered for 2 of her shows. Then the year that I would have started the bodybuilding, I was getting married that fall.
Right.
And, you can't do anything. So I was like, okay, I can't do it. I can't do the show in 23. I'll do it in 24.
Mm-hmm.
So the team started in August of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I got married in September 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And she had been getting me wedding dress ready. So I was already, looking good. But when I tell you from that September 22 to that August 23 year, I was married and happy and let's eat. Okay. Let's go. I don't know what happened because I've always been on the slender side.
Yeah, you have.
But I don't know what happened. And so when I weighed in, and I don't share this, I don't know why I feel like I want to go public on such a
It's okay. It's okay.
But when I weighed in, my first initial check-in with my trainer at in August of 2023, I was 162 pounds. No, 162.5 pounds. And I did.
And you don't look like, you wouldn't look like that, but you're really tall.
Tall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And my clothes still fit pretty well.
Okay.
But I did turn around and say, well, now whose hips are these? Where did these come from? And so I started, with the team. So when I tell you that it's just a different level from being a regular lifestyle client and going to the gym and working out to stay healthy. And I always ate pretty well until I met that man. And then just when I started working out with this team, I was like, oh, I had to work out at 5 a.m. with the team.
Right.
And then we had homework in the evening. So I told you when we finish up this podcast, I got to get to the gym. I got homework. And so twice a day, 5 days a week. Sundays were our off days. We had one cheat meal a week, not a cheat day. I had to correct my sister. You get a cheat day? I said, no, you get a cheat meal. And so, but the cheat meal was still very much controlled by her. And so then, and I want to shout out my trainer, Janae Dixon-Banks, because I'm going to make sure she watches this in her this podcast.
Okay.
And her gym, Fit Junkie, located in Conyers, Georgia. If you really want someone that's going to yell at you and get you all the way together, you need to go to Janae. My entire village knows about Janae because I'm like, you know what she did today? And I really following the meal plan. Everything was good, but I have to tell you, January was my turning point. And so I knew that my show would be in June. So from August to June, that's a year. For all intents and purposes, that's a year. And I was just like,
it is.
That's a long time.
During that time, of course, marriage, I sold my house, which was 15 minutes from her gym. I moved an hour away from her gym.
Oh, wow.
So I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning so that I could leave the house at 4, so that I could get to the gym by 5, work out for an hour, drive back home, get home around 6, a little after 6.
Now that's a commitment.
And then work.
Yeah, that's dedication. Complete dedication.
And then work all day and then go do homework. So for the last year, my life has been this bodybuilding journey.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's really, but you know what? I will say this, and I don't know where you're going to go with your questions, but I will say this. About 2 weeks before the show, I was in the gym and I had to listen to my Walter Hawkins or my Fred Hammond or my James Cleveland when I really needed strength, my James Cleveland podcast station. And Marvin Sapp was playing and he was saying, I know I'm close because everything is coming at me. And at that moment, I was doing deadlifts and I stopped and I said, I'm going to win. God, I heard his voice as clear as I'm talking to you. I said, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. God told me at that moment doing deadlifts that I was going to win. And I called my mother. I said, I'm going to win.
Good.
And when they called my name, I mean, I was happy. I was like, I already knew. And my opponent was a formidable opponent. She looked amazing. but I won, and I'm so happy. I'm still on cloud nine. I just tossed the roses this morning that my husband bought for me, and they were on the kitchen table. They were starting to die and dry out, so I just threw those away this morning and washed the vase. But my medals, my roses, everything were on the table up until today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so
And your show was in June, right?
it was June 15th. It was 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you very much. So I won first place bikini 45 and over. I'm 52. And Bikini Open, which is everybody, all ages.
Everybody.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
You're 52, and how old are you, Talaya?
55.
55. So that's why I wanted to talk about that idea of for women 50 plus, because like I'm 60, I'm older than both of y'all. So Tanya, I'm almost 10 years for you, and at least 6 years older than Talaya. And so I'm so appreciative that you all have shared your journey. Both of you all talked about nutrition and the food. So talk to us a little bit about what type of nutrition and diet was necessary for you.
Well, for me, my trainer, Jerome Teasley from Hero Fitness in Greenville, South Carolina, the benefit with him, he works all areas. So he works with nutrition, the exercise, and posing. So for nutrition, it's basically a very, very high protein, low carb. The carbs are primarily fruit, and you have your vegetables, and then you have your healthy fats, very lean meats and protein shakes, and then at least 120 ounces of water a day or more, depending on if you're a man. It's maybe more, but that's the meal. And you just sort of kind of have to stick to it. You eat eggs every single day. If you don't like eggs, it's sort of kind of hard. I'm not an egg person, but I've done it one time before when I was trying to look good for 50 with Burn Boot Camp. They said eat eggs in the morning, and I ate eggs almost for like a whole year. Could not wait to get rid of the eggs. And then back to bodybuilding, I'm back to eggs and egg whites. Not only just the eggs, but then you just move out of the eggs and go straight egg whites and spinach in the morning, every morning for like at least 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all you eat for breakfast. When you get to the lean phase, the bulking phase, you'll have oatmeal with the eggs. But when you get to lean, no, it's just all egg whites and lean pieces of meat. So that would be turkey.
How many times a day, Tanya? What did you eat the same as like
I did, but I'm jealous because she got fruit. My trainer nixed fruit. Blueberries. That was it, just blueberries.
That was all y'all could eat?
That was all we could eat. So for me, it was pretty much the same thing. I had to eat egg whites and ground turkey that I would sometimes turn into turkey patties. But then I started cooking it like loose meat, like sloppy Joe, no sauce. I would cook it loose and just you get very creative in how to season your food and how to make it delicious because you're not hungry. You're just bored. Like you're not, it's a lot of food. Now that was hard for me. I had to eat 5 meals a day, and that was a lot of food for me. So it was either chicken breast or the turkey, whether it was the ground turkey, you made it in patties or just loose or whatever. A cup of spinach, a third cup of cooked jasmine rice, or 7 ounces of sweet potatoes. And I hate sweet potatoes, but I've grown to like them. I had to figure out how to make the sweet potatoes. So just a lot of red onions, a lot of green and red peppers to season things and make it look pretty and just, really. It was funny because I read Janae, and my trainer also focuses on your meal plan. Her partner does our posing. And she did our, of course, our workout. So it was all, all encompassing she and her entire team. But someone sent out a message and said, just hang in there because at some point your oatmeal is going to become dessert. Like when your chicken gets too chickeny, just remember your goal. And I was like, well, that's never going to happen. I hate oatmeal. When she pulled my oatmeal, I was like, well, then now what? Because I was looking forward to the oatmeal and having to drink so much water, you can't get anything done because you're just drinking water all day, every day. It's just like you saw me, even at our MSK program, I came in with my water, it's just you have to But that was probably, I want to say though, giving up sugar. I'm not a dessert eater.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think I ate a lot of sugar, because I'm like, well, I don't eat desserts. I don't eat a lot of candy or
But
whatever.
it's in all the other stuff we eat.
But sugar isn't everything.
Yes.
And when you giving up sugar should actually be regulated like a drug. I'm telling you, you get headaches, you're moody, you're like, it's like, I want a cookie, it's just like because you can't have it, and so I would say getting rid of sugar was probably one of the hardest parts of this journey. It really was, in terms of the meal, in terms of the diet and eating 5 meals a day. That was hard. That was,
Now, Talaya, you said something about 8 weeks. Is it just
So it's typical. You can start about 12 weeks out from show day, but initially the first 4 weeks could be bulking. So that's when you may have more of a carb in your diet, like the oatmeal and the sweet potato. But then the last 8 weeks, the carbs sort of kind of come out. And the only thing I think I had for a while was like an apple was part of my snack with the protein shake for my second meal of the day. And then at the end of the day, I was allowed to have a protein shake and 1 cup of grapefruit, because he said the grapefruit will pull some of the water out of your body, sort of kind of acting as a diuretic. So they were the only carbs that we were having. And at the very end, the last 4 weeks, the apple gets cut out and you're only left with the grapefruit at the end of the day. And that would be my sixth meal of the day. So that's why it's sort of kind of the last 8 weeks. And then the last 4 weeks, you may have another diet shift. And what I've learned since I've gone through it the third time is that your body may respond differently to the meats. So you may have to have changes. And I didn't know that until I was working with my posing coach, Cara Davis, who is an IFBB pro for figure. She said, oh no, yeah, sometimes that the meat won't work right. Even though it worked out before, your body just doesn't respond right, even if you eat the same thing. So you may have to
what do you
make
mean by it? Your body may not respond right. What do you mean by right?
meaning like you may not be able to lose the fat that you're thinking even if you eat exactly the correct portion sizes, your body just may not respond to help you lean out because you're trying to get really lean and let your muscles start showing. So you're trying to do other things to maybe counteract that. When I did my show in Atlanta in November of last year, I had a hard time. I think it could have been stress. My son was playing football for the first time and trying to make sure he got where he needed to go at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to make sure dinner's gone. And then I'm running off to the gym. And I just think the stress of that, my body really affected me, even though I couldn't pinpoint it. So then I had to sort of kind of eat right like I was, but then I had to do more cardio in a sauna suit to sort of kind of lean me out. So the cardio with the sauna suit really finally got me show ready. But I said, if I could do that for 5 to 6 weeks, I can do anything.
right, right, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay, Tanya. Did you eat like that the way you were describing? Did you started in August and then your show was in June,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was like what, 9 months for you?
11. Don't take my 2 months. 11. It was 11. Yes.
That's amazing that you could eat like that for that long. Because
So she's been able to adjust our meal plans, and none of us had the same exact meal plan because all of our bodies were doing something differently, and we also were all in different categories. I was the only person competing in bikini, and honestly, one thing I really like about Janae and her technique is I went in knowing that I wanted to do bikini, but she said, I will let you know where how you're looking, getting, some months into it. And so probably around February, March, she said, okay, you're going to be bikini. And then for a second, she thought I was going to be wellness, but then she pulled back and just kept me in bikini. So you can go in thinking you're going to be in one category, but she's such a good trainer that she kind of knows she's watching you all along. So she would continuously change our meal plans. We had to do a check-in every Sunday morning. And I would have to get up and measure myself, all of the different areas. I had to weigh myself and send in pictures every Sunday. And she would make, adjustments accordingly. So a lot of times it would just start at the top of the month, because here's the thing, we were going by all of this chicken and ground beef, and ground turkey, excuse me, and she would say, well, eat up that and then start your new meal plan, next week or whatever. So, but I like her technique. I really do. And the way that she did that. So we did adjust it, but for the most part, every now and then she would add in a piece of baked fish.
Mm-hmm.
That was a treat. For a second, she pulled the chicken and the turkey. It was all fish. The house smelled awful. Everybody was mad at me in the house because the house smelled terrible. That was a big problem. And I would go to the
That's
farm.
what I'm going to ask you next. We're glad you brought up everybody else in the house. And both of you all are married and have children. Where you have young adults in your house, Tanya, and your husband, and then you and your son and your husband, Talaya. So how did your eating impact the rest of your family?
I basically had to do 2 meals. So I did their meal and my meal, and meal prep you just have to do. There's no way you can do all this and work. I work like 10, 11-hour days. There's no way you can do everything because the food has to be ready in order to eat and move on to the next thing. So I would cook my meals separately and then cook something separately for them.
So did you take your food when I grow up?
Yes, I took my food to work. Yeah, but I was already taking my food to work because I don't have time to go out. So, and it was helpful for me because I was already eating a salad and chicken, and then I was having blueberries. That was my standard lunch for like, I don't know, 5 or 7 years before this came on. So the only thing that was different is I couldn't have the blueberries. And then instead of chicken, I had to have tuna. So for me, the lunch really wasn't a different because I was already eating that way.
Okay. Did you, Tanya, how did it impact your household?
So again, coming behind Dr. Clark, I want to be you when I grow up. I would meal prep my food, and everyone in the house had to eat what I ate, or they had to go spend for themselves. I'm sorry. So personally, I know, but Charles would say, my husband, he said, well, I'll just eat what you eat, babe. I'm like, okay. He really was a huge support. Just to piggyback off of your original question. In addition to the meals, just having the support of your family. You cannot do this unless you have the support of your family, because it is taxing. It is, it's an all day thing, literally from 3:30 in the morning until sometimes 9:30 at night, and you have a little bit of work and a little bit of rest in between. That's it. And that was for 11 months. And I could not have done this without him and the support of our entire home. But just the whole meal prep, and Dr. Clark, you can speak to this. Meal prepping takes forever. But once it's finished, you can eat all week. So you really have to take Sunday and just do it, or it's sometimes Monday. And sometimes, to be honest with you, you just can't. And so I would go and get a rotisserie chicken from Publix or something, or Costco, and pull the skin back and eat the chicken, the breast meat. And I have a scale. I have to weigh everything. 4 ounces of this, 7 ounces of that. A third cup of this or half a cup of that. And so I just got very used to weighing everything, and I work from home, so I didn't have to take my meals anywhere. But traveling, we would go down to South Carolina.
Good, I'm glad you brought that up.
Traveling, I would pack my meals, and we would have to stop at a nice gas station that had a microwave. And my husband is devilish. He would go get his Pringles and the Snickers. You want some? I was like, more than you want. That's okay. Then he would say,
"Be behind me, Satan."
Right. And so every now and then I would say, I want an ice cream cone. The girl that wins didn't have the ice cream cone. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay. So that was really just being on the move. I couldn't meet with my girlfriends to go eat. It's really, so when Dr. Toni, you mentioned to me that you want to do bodybuilding. When I told you, I said, I'm doing this bodybuilding journey. He said, I think I want to do it. I was like, are you sure? Because Dr. Toni, you kick it with your friends. I don't know. This is a lot. Just being able to, you have to curtail your travel because
now see that it's not really my friends that I would be concerned about, because I can go out with my friends and not eat what they eat.
Okay.
But I think my challenge would be mainly the travel. Like, how would I work this into my travel life, because I travel so much for ministry. So that would be what I would have to really, really, really consider. I don't have to worry about the cooking for family because I'm an empty nester, and Bishop kind of goes with whatever I'm eating. He'll eat
what you eat, right?
He'll eat what I'm eating, or he'll get what he wants. He'll go somewhere else and get what he wants and let me eat what I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? So that wouldn't be an issue. But it would be, I would just be concerned about how would I take all that food with me when I'm going out of town.
So one suggestion would be like where you're going, you would have to get the food there. So you would already sort of kind of, if you're going to be somewhere for an extended amount of time, then you would go maybe to a store and buy certain things once you arrive
And
there.
I've done
And
that.
then,
I've
and
done
then,
that.
and then
Yeah.
you would meal prep yourself around that, like go
Right.
get the chicken, go do that and get the tuna, get the salad. And then you just do it
Yeah.
once you get there.
And
Yeah.
you know what? And I know people who travel with their food. Like they have it packed and they travel with their food. I know I'm thinking of a bishop that I know and a pastor that I know that eat really clean and they take their stuff with them. One of them actually takes like their own little oven kind of thing that you can pack and take
Okay.
in their room.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and I remember last year when I was in Indianapolis, and one of the things I like to do is have like ginger shots and wheatgrass in the morning. And so when I got there, one of the people that lived there, I asked them to take me to a store where I can find that. And I went and I bought it and took it to my room. So I can see what you're saying, Talaya. I could go there. Y'all encouraging me. Y'all giving me some real encouragement here. But let me ask you this. So what lessons have you learned that are transferable to other areas of your life through the bodybuilding?
I'll take this one first, if you don't mind, Dr. Clark. I was actually going to touch on that with an earlier comment. There's so many lessons that I learned from this. The first one, and I've told anyone that asked me and that will listen, this is the second hardest thing I've ever done, marriage being the first. You married women didn't tell me this is very hard. You didn't tell me.
Marriage is hard, but divorce is hard too. So let me say that. Okay.
And he's awesome, but it's hard. So I would say, but this is harder than graduate school because school comes easily to me. I love school and I love working out, but this, I'm serious, this was harder than graduate school. This was challenging. But I knew I could do it. I never wanted to quit. I got tired. At one point, my coach and I had a screaming match, and that's not even who I am. I don't know what was going on because I mentioned, I think I'm entering menopause as well, so I'm dealing with that too. So I think I was having a moment. I don't know, but it actually fueled me though. It really did. That was a turning point for me. I mentioned in January. That was really like a turning point for me. So I knew that I could do it. I always finish things. If I say I'm going to start something, I usually finish. I always finish it. My mom said, I knew you were going to stick with it and I knew you were going to win. And so, but knowing that I could commit to something this challenging and I really didn't know what to expect, which I think was probably best. But also just some kind of little linear lessons is how much money we saved by cooking at home and not eating out. Seriously, I mean, I had to cut out smoothies because it's a lot of sugar. And I thought I was, I'm like, oh, it's a natural smoothie. It has the natural fruit. I wasn't losing as much as I should have been. I was very proud. I was like, I'm down 14 pounds. She's like, you should be down 20 by now. I was like, oh. And so I had to. And so just the money that we saved by cooking at home and doing the meal prep, sticking to it. It got really, really hard when the time changed and it was cold outside. It's hard to get out of your bed at 3:30 in the morning and it's cold and you got to drive and just, fear running out. I had a car accident. It was just a lot. It was.
I remember that morning I called you right there. You had, and I didn't know you had a car accident. And I called you about something else unrelated. And
I think I was in shock. That's when we were doing our 6 a.m. prayer call. And you figure I had just left the gym. And I totaled my car. I think I was at fault. I totaled the other lady's car. Okay. And you know what's crazy is the whole car, the lights came on. My watch was saying, you've been in an accident. The airbags deployed. But my phone was still in the holder and you all were still in that prayer call. I'm serious. And my car did a complete 180. But that prayer call was still on. And the phone was, I was like, wow. And so, but just knowing that I could stick with it.
We were praying for you as you were driving because I remember I saw your name come up in the.
I was just in an accident. I think I was in shock. I told you before I called Charles. I was just in an accident. I really believe I was in shock. I hurt my leg. I still have a bruise today. I couldn't work out for a week. I had to go, home, and then I was afraid to drive because to this day I still don't know how I had the accident. I really don't. I don't know I still don't know. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I just worked out. I don't know. So I was a little apprehensive about driving. So going through that, you preached a few weeks ago about the valleys, and I mean, it felt like a valley at some point, at some different points of the journey. But I never wanted to give up. I would get tired, I would get a little frustrated, but I never wanted to give up. So if I can encourage anybody that if you do commit to bodybuilding or anything, just when it gets really, really, really hard, that's when you dig in and you have to keep going.
I like that. That's a good lesson. When it really gets hard, because whether it's bodybuilding or whatever
it is,
you're gonna have hard times. And that's not when you pull away, it's when you dig in.
That's when you dig in.
That's good. That's a good lesson right there. Gotta preach. Okay, Talaya.
Well, for myself, my story is a little different than hers. I'm a virtual client. So my trainer lives in Greenville, South Carolina, Jerome Teasley, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. So everything was solo. So I did not have the community. So for me, the challenge of learning that I can do stuff by myself. I would prefer to be around people, but I am an introvert. So this just being at the gym all by yourself is a little weird at night, all by yourself. You really have to motivate yourself. So my girlfriend said, you're going through this for more than just physical. It's your different mindset change when you're there by yourself. You don't have anybody there. And so sometimes you go through experiences that you're going to be by yourself. And you may have to encourage yourself because nobody's there to encourage you. Nobody's stroking you, saying you're doing a good job. Keep going. I had to do all of that by myself. My trainer's not there. I just look at the app. He shows me the video, and I just do what I'm supposed to do. I have to motivate myself. I have to go to the next level and be all by myself. Figure out how to
virtual. When you told me your training was all virtual, I couldn't believe it. I was when you said that to me.
And I don't encourage anybody to do it unless they've already had time with a personal trainer in the gym, because form is very important and you don't want to hurt yourself. But because I had a trainer for 13 years, I was comfortable in that setting that I can just hit a video and do it. And I would just start slow and go up. So for me, just and doing it scared. Sometimes that's what I learned, that I just have to do something scared. As I apply that to other areas of my life, just do it. Even if I'm nervous, just do it scared. It's going to be okay. My little motto when I wanted to stop was, don't worry, don't hurry, trust the process. Because sometimes
you're moving too fast. Say that again.
I love that.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't hurry.
Don't hurry.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. If y'all writing notes, y'all need to write that down.
That's good.
That's good. Y'all getting some sermons from this.
Because I couldn't see the changes all the time the first time around. And I still sometimes
don't hurry. Trust
the process.
And that's where you have to have the right trainer for you. Like you said, you had the right trainer for you. I feel like Jerome Teasley is the right trainer for me. He could see the pictures. I was sending pictures every week or every other week. Just by looking at the pictures, he would then create the workout. And I just thought that was a miracle by itself. How can you look at the pictures? You're not seeing me. Literally, the first time I did the bodybuilding competition, we were doing posing on Zoom.
Wow.
And we only met towards the very end. So he physically was not looking at my body. And for that transformation to take place, I said, you know your craft.
Yes.
That you could do this all by pictures to take me from that before to that after. It was 6 months. It was 6 months. And the first time I worked out for 6 months, and I only missed 6 workouts though. 6 workouts. I missed 6 workouts in 6 months. And he was just like, when I told him that on show day, he looked at me like, what? Who does that?
I'm showing your stuff right here.
That's my before and after. That was 6 months later.
If you're not on YouTube and you're listening to us on podcast, I want you definitely to go to Dr. Toni G. Alvarado on YouTube so you can see Talaya's pictures. I'm gonna show yours too, Tanya. But y'all see this? Look at this.
So my before picture, I was 130, and on show day I was down to 118.
Perfect.
Wow, that's amazing.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna show one more of you. I got 2 pictures of each of you. Look at this.
That was my picture from the most recent professional pro figure show. That was in April of 2024. So
And
my
what is
back,
your category, Dr. Clark?
I'm a figure.
Okay.
Figure. So my back increased, muscle increased a lot. And the thing I was going to say about posing, that pose you see right there is something the judges will never see. Never see. It's really, really important. You can have the best body, but if you can't show it and pose it the way that the judge wants it, you will not win a competition. Your family and friends will think you look gorgeous, but you will not win a competition. And I'm slightly competitive, so I definitely want to win. But
so the posing, you got to be able to pose the right way for your muscles to show up.
Yes,
Absolutely.
The muscles to show up the way they want to see it. They will not see that pose. That's the pose I like because my back looks great. So I take that picture all the time. But that's not something that the judge would see.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, you look good to me.
So on the first picture, that's when I was actually on the stage, and so those are specific stage poses.
I'm gonna go back to that one.
So on the first one, you see the side pose has to be a certain way, and my front has to be a certain way. So those are specific poses that the judges want to see in a certain way. And then also,
what did I come to this one?
Yes, that's the one you were at. Yes, ma'am.
And I was just sitting there with my mouth open, like, oh my God. And the thing is, when I met you, you were this before picture. That was you.
Yes, ma'am.
So for me to come to your show and see this, I mean, I was like mesmerized. And when you told me that your trainer was like virtual, I was just like, girl, you lying. Let's show Tanya's pictures. So let's see. There you go, Talaya. Look at Tanya. Bikini. Look at you, Miss Tanya.
Thank you.
Tanya Henderson-Burke.
So I just sent you, I don't know if you can upload it because I just sent it to you. I didn't know we were going to send before and afters. I sent you a picture of where I started.
Okay.
And where I ended for the show. So and I don't, if you can upload it, that's fine. If you can't, don't worry about it. But I mentioned that when I started.
Are you able to, if you got it on your phone, maybe we can, if you can pull it up, like just, because I would have to put it in something for it to show up on here on the screen. But I don't know if you're able. Let me see. Let me do one thing. I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to make you bigger, Tanya. Let's see. I'm going to make you bigger. Okay. Now, let's see. Can you put your camera up?
You want me just to turn it around?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. Look. Oh my goodness.
So if you see, I started off, I mentioned, is that better? Is that better?
That's better. Really good. You can see it.
I started off at 162.5. Don't take away my half pound.
That's like me, girl. When they ask me how many miles did I run,
right?
13.1, and don't forget the 0.1.
Don't take away my 0.1.
I want all of it.
And the day of the show, I weighed in at 124.5 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been. I normally wear a size 6. My 6s are hanging off of me. I'm in 2s and 4s. I had to go to Victoria's Secret. Yes. Nothing fits.
Yes.
Nothing fits. So this is where I started. And this is where she is right now. Now
I'm going to show where you are right now because I got that.
Yes.
Okay. I got that. And so listen, you got to go on YouTube, y'all. If you're listening on Spotify, you got to go to YouTube so you can see them. Oh, this is amazing.
You look very good.
Thank you.
And look at you, just perfectly brown.
Listen, that was the very
like what they call it.
Tanny.
That buttercream, whatever. What's that cream we used to put on us when we had burns?
Oh yeah, but shea butter.
Shea butter.
Shea butter. So my posing coach, Kim Frimpog, and she and Dr. Clark, you're so good knowing all of their affiliations. I can't think of the associations that they're with, but this show was the Onyx. I'm a part of the Onyx group, the Southern Muscle Association. So that's who was on this show. And I'm still an amateur. So this is my very first show. I am going to compete one more time. I am. I
I was
haven't.
going to ask you that. Are you
I haven't
gonna
quite told my mom yet, but
well, you just told her.
yeah, I did. So I am going, but I did tell my trainer. I said it has to be this year, though. I cannot go until May or June of next year. I don't have it in me.
Okay.
And to your point, Dr. Clark, I am going to go virtual because again, that hour drive is just a lot. Now there are days. I did actually go in 2 days this week. I went in Monday and Tuesday, but I stayed the night in Conyers, and so at my godparents' house, and I went into the gym on Monday and Tuesday. But for the most part, she'll send out a video of the morning workout, and then again, we have our homework on our app. So I am going to go virtual.
I want to just plug virtual workouts. I am finding that they really do work. I mean, even just I'm not bodybuilding, but just in where I am, I see the difference. Like when I started with my trainer 5 days a week, I still see him 3 days a week, and 2 days a week I'm virtual. I'm on Zoom with him, or when I'm traveling, like this week, I'll be in Dallas for a convention and for my sorority convention, and I won't be at because of the time that I need to be at the convention center. I won't be able to get on with him, but I was like, hey, I'll just do some core work with my Peloton app. So there's so many virtual things out there, but I think you do need a coach, somebody that's working with you, whether it's virtual or in person, if you're gonna go all the way here with this bodybuilding stuff.
I agree. Don't try to do it by yourself. I think
What
that
they say, don't try this at home, you know.
yeah, don't,
Yeah, right. Because we don't want anybody to hurt themselves, but
you really can. You can hurt yourself if you lift it properly. I also learned how to lift properly.
Right.
Along the way, I really did. I learned how to really, zero in on the areas.
And not because I love lifting weights, but I don't, and like there are some things that my trainer will not. He will only let me lift when he's in the room with me.
Okay.
Like if I'm on Zoom with him, there's certain things he'll modify it a little bit because he's not in the room with me.
Okay.
right.
But yeah, you all are just, I'm telling you, this is amazing. I'm gonna run it back just real quick. Talaya, before and after. Look at this. This was just April of 2024.
Red is my favorite color. That was beautiful.
Look at her back, girl.
I know.
I don't know. If I was the judge, I would have seen it. Okay. Anyway, Tanya. Oh my God, you're beautiful, girl.
Thank you.
Look at that. This stuff. Lord Jesus. I
did not want to put myself on Facebook in a bikini, but I was so proud that I did it. I made it real common. I said no back shots though. Okay, no back shots. So I'm not gonna put a back shot on here, but I did. But one thing I want to say, I did ask my husband before I got started in August. I said, honey, I really want to do this bodybuilding competition, and I need your support. I want to do it. He said, I want you to do it. If that's what you want, then I support you. And I said, and I'm aiming for the bikini competition. And he said, okay, so that was that. And he agreed. And then somewhere around March, I told him, I said, well, I got to do a pose like this. And I kind of stuck my butt. He was like, wait, what? I was like, no backsies. I'm in it now.
This is absolutely wonderful, y'all. I am so excited and proud of y'all. I mean, look at you. I mean, y'all did it. You set it as a goal and you did it. You did it. I'm going to ask you all in a minute. I want to show where people can follow you all. For those of you who are just listening or watching us, you're listening and watching the Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube. My YouTube channel is Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. You can find this conversation there. And I want to encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. Y'all help me now. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, because then you can do a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm finally over the 500 mark on YouTube, and I'm trying to get to, and it's hard to get there on YouTube. And so I really trying to get, my next goal is 1,000. And so, but what happens though, really, when we start, when you the more subscribers you have with YouTube, the the way you go up in the analytics in terms of Google search, right? And so people won't have to search 5 and 6 pages down Google to find you and to find these kind of conversations. And these conversations are, I know they are changing lives. I can't believe, can y'all believe I've been doing this podcast since 2020 and it's 2024? And there have been days that I wanted to say, okay, I've done enough. They're archived. People can go there forever. They're there whenever I'm in. But I haven't had a release to stop. And so, and every month, God gives me another way to look at it and some more people to talk to. I'm constantly meeting people when I'm out preaching and teaching and doing what I do. And then I'll be like, hey, can you come on my podcast and let's talk about it, And so, so we're on YouTube. I want you to like, subscribe, comment, share these conversations with other people who might need to hear these conversations. All right, women, if you are listening, I want you to join the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. Talaya is a member of the network. Tanya has been a part of the network. Come on in, because we're a group of Black women who are concerned about ourselves and one another. Okay, we are concerned about making sure, and then it might not be bodybuilding, but there's so many ways that we can take care of ourselves. And so I want to invite those of you that are listening to go to my website at drtonialvarado.com and sign up for the Harmonize Your Life Women's Self-Care Network. I also want to shout out and say that the Harmony Fitness apparel is available. I want to put this up. You can go to my website and you will see that the Harmony, we got some new t-shirts. We got dry fit, so you can work out and be cute like Tanya and them. We got the racerback, a new racerback t-shirt, and we have new Harmony and new self-care t-shirts, dry fit. We have our fitness pants there, Harmony and Harmony self-care fitness pants. So you can go there to drtonialvarado.com, go to my shop and get your Harmony Fitness apparel so that you can be cute while you're working out. And we have bling t-shirts, we got sweatshirts for the fall and winter, we got tea there, we got herbal oil, we have all the things there. And so you can go to our to my website and get those things from there. We are talking about bodybuilding for women 50 plus. Our guests today, Dr. Talaya Clark and Tanya Henderson-Burke, have just been phenomenal, y'all. They have been phenomenal. You can follow both of them on Facebook, Talaya Clark, just their names, Talaya Clark and Tanya Henderson-Burke. On Instagram, you can find Dr. Talaya at Dr. Talaya Clark, and you can find Tanya at Hanya 1212. All right. So go there and follow these women, follow their journey. They will inspire you. The lessons that they have learned and they've shared with us. Slow down. What was it?
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't hurry.
Don't hurry.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Tanya, what was one of your lessons that you gave us?
Just when it gets really, really hard, dig in.
Dig in. And
dig in. Don't give up. Dig in.
Exactly. And I love that because, one of the things I love to do, even with my own fitness journey, there's so many spiritual lessons and life lessons that I get. As a matter of fact, my blog post for the month of July, I'm talking about my last half marathon, and my title is My Race, My Pace. And so I invite you to go there and read my blog post because I pull some spiritual nuggets out of it and help people apply these principles to their lives, just like they're doing with their bodybuilding journey. And so I want to thank both of them for sharing their journey with us, sharing their pictures with us, and just encouraging us. So I would like for each of you, I'm going to highlight you first, Talaya, and if you'll just share just one word of encouragement to a woman who may be thinking about bodybuilding or just in general fitness and taking care of herself, doing self-care at another level. So Talaya, will you share first? And then Tanya, I would like you to share.
Okay.
Start your fitness journey today, no matter what age you are. Start slow and increase in intensity and in frequency over time. Don't worry, don't hurry. Trust the process. The small things you do today will bring you big returns in the future.
All right. Start today, not tomorrow. Today. Because that's all we
Today.
have today, right? So
That's all.
start today. Tanya, what about you?
So, gosh, I would just like to encourage anyone that you can do this no matter what size you are. I think sometimes women may feel insecure going into the gym if they think everybody looks like me or Dr. Clark, and that's just not the case, you know. And so I would encourage anyone, any woman, any man that's listening, no matter where you are on your journey, again, to piggyback off of Dr. Clark's words, if you just get started, and the days that you don't want to go, that's the very moment, that's the day you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And just do it, and you will feel so much better. You'll be so proud of yourself. The hardest part is just getting up out the bed or getting off of the couch. Once you get up, I mean,
I can testify to that.
Up,
yeah.
Once you stand
That's
up,
the hardest part, just getting up. And
getting up.
Mm-hmm.
Once you stand up, and you're like, okay, well, I'm up now. So you know,
that is so true. That's so true.
Just get up. And if you don't know what to do, another thing, if you're at the gym and you're lost, you don't know what to do, reach out to someone. Find me. I don't know much. I'm not a trainer, but I'll tell you what I think, you know. I'll tell you, do this or whatever, just to get you started. But I encourage you to find a good trainer. If you can't afford, you know, there's so many good apps. Some are free. Just get started. And if you need help, ask for help. Don't suffer in silence. And I wish you all the best. God bless.
Get help. Get help. If you need help, get the help that you need. These women have blessed us here on the Harmonize Your Life podcast. I am so excited about their journey. I cannot wait to see the rest of their transformation and the rest of what God is going to do. And for some of you, if this conversation is blessing you, please reach out and let us know how this conversation is blessing you. And if you get started on this journey, let us know so that we can encourage you and pray for you, and just, you know, I'll connect you with Talaya, connect you with Tanya, so that they can encourage you and share their journey even the more. Just like what Tanya said, get started. Don't hold yourself back. If this is the time for you to do it, then do it. And whether it's bodybuilding or just, it's always a good time to take care of yourself. It's always the right time to practice self-care. It's always the right time to eat right, to rest, to exercise, and to do something to harmonize your life. I am so grateful and thankful again for my guests, Dr. Talaya Clark and Mrs. Tanya Henderson. I love saying that, Mrs. part. By the way, me and my husband performed their wedding. Yes. She's our spiritual daughter. All right. And so I'm so grateful again to each of you. And I'm excited about this month of podcast conversations. And y'all kicked it off.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you all. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Harmonize Your Life, Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, yours truly, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. I'll see you soon.